You deserve that. You don't deserve any of it. I don't deserve any of it. You don't deserve $15. You don't deserve $5 an hour. I don't deserve it. I like making the money I make. I deserve to have my neck broken and be cast into hell. But the world entices you by saying, do you realize what a living wage is? I said, I do not, but I do know who a living God is. And He's a life-giving God. I mean, the world doesn't. But you've got something inside of you that already thinks it. Why? Because every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust. I want to have what they have. I want to be all I can be. Why don't you be all that God would have you to be, and you'll be happy in holiness? We're tempted. We argue with the artist. Then we go about to attack the artist. We say, God tempted me. Do not err, my beloved brethren. God did not tempt you to eat. God did not tempt you to do this or to do that. To go here or to go there. God lets you go through trials. Through those kind of temptations, but He does not tempt you to go your own way. God did not tempt you to use a credit card. And I'm not preaching against credit cards, I'm just using this in an illustration. God didn't tempt you to use a credit card to go buy you your new stuff. God just put you through a trial to tempt you toward patience, to work your faith, to where you trust, to where you pray. I will say this. My wife was telling a story yesterday about when my son was born. When my son was born. And we went into the hospital. And we had not made a payment plan with the hospital in advance. We didn't know you were supposed to. But we did not have maternity coverage. We're 12 years without a child. We didn't even think about these things. Then she's with child, and guess what? It's too late to get maternity coverage once you're with child. So, here we are in this hospital, and they call and say, you owe us this much money, or they can't leave. I said, well, okie dokie, ma'am. I don't know if I said okie dokie, but I said, I guess they're staying a while. I don't have the money. And I think it's gotten even worse because she ended up having an emergency C-section last night. Oh, really? Let me get back with you. Let me call you back in just a minute. The lady called me. She was thrilled that my wife had this surgery. Why? Because she's going to get some money. I did have insurance, but I didn't have maternity insurance. But I had medical insurance, and a surgery is medical. And so when there was an emergency surgery, guess what? It's paid for, most of it. But there were some things that were not within our, whatever it's called, your program or whatever. And like the anesthesiologist, and like this, and like that. And so there was some money that was needed to be paid. Well, I started paying these things. There was more money to be paid. And I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay these? They call me and say to me, you got to make this payment. You want to make a payment plan. And I said, and how am I going to do that? How am I going to make a payment plan? I don't understand how to make a payment plan. I don't even have a guaranteed income. Next thing you know, They're calling me saying, would you like us to take a look at your bill and see if we can help pay some of that bill off? And I said, I didn't call you asking me for any kind of welfare. They said, oh, no. We got people that give to the hospital to try to help people out. And I said, well, just let me know. I didn't ask you for none of this. God will take care of this. Because that's back in my spiritual days. And I believe God will take care of that. And then you know what happened? They sent me the paperwork. I filled out the paperwork, sent it back in. They said we could probably take care of about up to half of what you owe. Well, when I had some folks give me some money, and I try to get a hold to them to tell them I'm going to pay this money, or send the money in. They said, you don't owe that money. I said, I do owe that money. They said, no, it was all paid for. I said, all paid for? They were only going to pay for half of it, but the whole thing got paid because they realized I didn't have any money. What I'm trying to tell you is that what they wanted me to do was to go out and pull out my fantastic plastic and put it on there so I'd be paying somebody all this money. And then I found out I'm not going to do that. Next thing you know, they're trying to find a way to get the bill paid off. They're starting going into their funds that they have. Next thing you know, they're paying the whole thing off. God took care of the whole thing. I told them to take the money that I got from that church and just put it on somebody else's bill. You know, what I'm trying to tell you is, our tendency is to not be patient. And you know what? My wife couldn't be telling that story yesterday if I would have been impatient. But I was sitting there, don't tell me I wasn't worried. I was enduring the temptation. Why? Because something inside of me was tempted to just do something and get the bill away from me. Get the bill lesser. Work out a payment plan. But I didn't know how to. I couldn't figure it out because I didn't know. What I'm trying to tell you is, if we let patience do our work, we'll find ourselves happy in holiness. But we have to allow it to do the work. We'll be perfect and tired, wanting nothing, enjoying the Lord. Our tendency is to be tempted to do our own thing. And God does not tempt us to evil, neither tempts any man. Every man is tempted when he's drawn away from his own lust and enticed. And when lust is conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Because every perfect gift, every good gift, and every perfect gift, make us perfect and entire, wanting nothing, coming from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness. He's the Lord that changes not, neither shadow of turning. He still has the same purpose. He still has the same plan. He still has the same priorities. And what is that? To make us perfect and entire, wanting nothing. He wants to paint us or potterize us, however you use that to make a pottery, that is just like Jesus. But we have to let Him do His perfect work. That's how to have happiness and holiness. Just let God do the work. And don't lean into our own understanding. In all our ways, acknowledge Him. And let Him direct our path. Father, I thank You for being